2018 World Economic Forum's report on the gender gap found Japan at 110 out of 149 countries. This is not really impressive, though that actually is an improved scoring on the past, but not nearly improved enough. If we are actively focused on promoting women within the economy, what needs to happen? Well, I think we need to be much more aggressive on sponsoring women, guiding their careers, mentoring them. And I think this needs to come not just from women, but it needs to come from men. Engaging men in this dialogue is what is actively missing. I think a lot of managers look to maybe the one senior woman that they have in the firm and say, okay, it's your job to promote women. In fact, it's not. It's everybody's job to promote women. And if you don't have leadership, that's men and women in the room, moving forward, then we're not going to be able to move forward in a way that changes hearts and minds. So having a policy is fantastic, but the real problem is with attitudes and behaviors. So one recent study said that most men still believe that a woman's place is in their home. In 2019, I don't disagree that people can have their own opinions. However, how does that translate into the workplace? How do we then start to change hearts and minds to say that, well, a woman's place can also be in a company? One of the other major changes along the lines of attitude that needs to happen is that we talk a lot about getting women into the workforce. And what essentially we're doing is adding to a woman's workload. So a woman now must be the primary caregiver for both her children, her in-laws, and her parents. Now we expect her also to take care of the home and work full-time. That's a lot to do. Why aren't we changing the expectations around men? Why aren't we considering family roles as opposed to just women? We need to increase the domestic help here. We need to also change the attitude that says that it's okay to get help. Many of the young women that I work with actually want to come back to work earlier and would consider having domestic help, but it's their mothers and mother-in-laws that are not letting them do it. It is the pressure that they're getting from their social circles saying, it's not okay, you should be able to do this yourself. And I think that's a real challenge. I think that's going to take many years to actually have that cultural change. One area that Japan, from a policy standpoint, is doing phenomenally is in paternity leave. So Japan is one of the few countries in the world that offers 12 months of paternity leave, which is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. One of the highest in the world except for South Korea, which is only slightly higher. This is amazing. The bad part, or maybe the drawback from this, is only 2 to 3% of men are actually taking this. Now, why? So a few different reasons for that. One, it's not culturally accepted within the company to take it. So that's one challenge. That's one thing that we can work on. We can work on having more senior men take paternity leave when their wives are having babies. I think that would help kind of have that trickle-down effect. And then two, within the family unit. So again, I've known some men who want to take paternity leave, but they get pushback from their families saying, well, your job is to be working, not to be taking care of the child. The child should be taken care of by the mother. So I feel that when you have this opportunity to take paternity leave, it's a great opportunity that many men want to take, but they're not sure how they can take it. So you have a policy in place, but you don't have the cultural support for it. And I think Japan definitely is leading in and very forward-thinking in putting in place 12-month paternity. But I think we still need to move a little bit forward, perhaps by pushing senior men, senior leadership, to really show that they're taking it. And taking it for longer than 5 days. To really, maybe they don't have to take a year, but maybe they take 2-3 months, for example. The reason why I think this is important, again, is because you're taking away the massive push we have on women to do more. And you're saying, actually, this is a family issue. This is a restructuring of the way we look at families, the way that we look at our responsibilities and gender roles. And we're saying that, okay, well, if woman's role is changing, then actually a man's role naturally also has to change as well. It's going to broaden, it's going to deepen. And that this is not only okay, but this is actually something that we can enjoy and explore together.